In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Gospel of John. And now, I would like to read excerpts from the book Leaves of Gold, which is filled with words from God, about God, and for God and His people. Stories, sayings, phrases, and tales compiled by its editors to offer spiritual comfort, hope, and morality in a world rapidly losing its way. Please do pardon my accent in some pronunciations. Thank you. Leaves of Gold. Forward. Poor indeed is the man whose mind is not enriched by some phrase of lasting truth and beauty which serves to restore his soul in the exigencies of life. Each of us needs in his heart's treasury the memory of a lovely line to renew fellowship with the great and noble of this earth. And, indeed, almost as great as the ability to write a line of strength is the ability to use that line to higher levels of emotion and achievement. To discover afresh in truth expressed with elemental force our eternal kinship with God is a universal urge. Leaves of Gold had its origin in the recognition of this impulse. From those who spoke with authority have been chosen words in which the word becomes flesh to dwell among us. Here are maxims, phrases, anecdotes, passages, proverbs, and essays from the best minds among men. Here are words of wisdom and thoughts of comfort for all mankind. Consolation is the objective of Leaves of Gold, to provide a key to things of the Spirit as inspiration for daily living its design. When you are old, grey and full of sleep, and nodding by the fire, take down this book, and slowly read and dream of the soft look your eyes had once, and of their shadows deep. How many loved your moments of glad grace, and loved your beauty with love false or true. But one man loved the pilgrim soul in you, and loved the sorrows of your changing face. And bending down beside the glowing bars, murmur a little sadly how love fled, and paced upon the mountains overhead, and hid his face amid a crowd of stars. Arriving, we picture death as coming to destroy. Let us rather picture Christ as coming to save. We think of death as sending. Let us rather think of life as beginning, and that more abundantly. We think of losing. Let us think of gaining. We think of parting. Let us think of meeting. We think of going away. Let us think of arriving. And as the voice of death whispers, you must go from earth, let us hear the voice of Christ saying, you are but coming to me. Norman MacLeod. Unanswered. I have lived to thank God that all my prayers have not been answered. Jean Ingelow. Saint. A little child on a summer morning stood in a great cathedral church. The sunlight streamed through the beautiful stained glass windows, and the figures in them of the servants of God were bright with brilliant color. A little later, the question was asked, what is a saint? And the child replied, a saint is a person who lets the light shine through. Anonymous. True repose. I have sought to repose everywhere, and I have found it only in a little corner with a little book. Saint Francois de Sales. Reflection. The man who thinks, reads, studies, and meditates has intelligence cut in his features, stamped on his brow, gleaming in his eyes, and sooner or later the face tells the status or the condition of the soul, a reflection of the divinity within the man. Record. Who is educated? A professor in Chicago is reported to have given the following test to his pupils. He told them they were not really educated unless they could say yes to all these questions. Has your education given you sympathy with all good causes and made you espouse them? Has it made you public-spirited? Has it made you a brother to the weak? Have you learned how to make friends and to keep them? Do you know what is it to be a friend yourself? Can you look an honest man or a pure woman straight in the eye? Do you see anything to love in a little child? Will a lonely dog follow you down the street? Can you be high-minded and happy in the meaner drudgeries of life? Do you think washing dishes and hoeing corn just as compatible with high thinking as piano playing or golf? Are you good for anything to yourself? Can you be happy alone? Can you look out on the world and see anything but dollars and cents? Can you look into a mud puddle by the wayside and see anything in the puddle but mud? Can you look into the sky at night and see beyond the stars? Can your soul claim relationship with the Creator? Doubts. I will listen to anyone's convictions, but pray, keep your doubts to yourself. Goethe. Acceptance. I cannot think or reason, I only know He came with hands and feet of healing, and wild heart all aflame, with eyes that dimmed and softened at all the things He saw, and in His pillared singing I read the marching law. I only know He loves me, enfolds and understands, and oh, His heart that holds me, and oh, His certain hands. Willard Vetas. Our Lord has written the promise of the resurrection, not in books alone, but in every leaf in springtime. Martin Luther.